What is going on, college football fans? This is Mike Singer from blueandgold.com with Kaleb Artis, a four-star defensive lineman from New York, breaking down his top schools. So you have 7 schools for us, Kaleb. We'll get into each school and why they made the cut. But just before we get into that, why 7? Why cut it down now? Kind of where are you at with your recruiting process?
Yeah, so first and foremost, me and my family, we just sat down and a few coaches of mine, that have been along the process, and we just spoke. We didn't want it to be too large, and as everything's going on with the pandemic and whatnot, we didn't want to be one of those people that would wait too long, probably after winter or whatnot, to commit, So we wanted to cut it down now, possibly commit around late spring, early midsummer time, if everything goes as planned. So that's just really what it is. We said top 7 because, like I said, we didn't want it to be too big. We didn't want to work with a top 10 and make it more difficult for ourselves. These top 7 schools, they just stuck out to me the most, and we just thought it was the best fit for right now.
So let's get into these top 7 schools for you, Kaleb. A pretty wide-ranging list. We'll start in the SEC. One of your recent offers. Tell us why Auburn made the list.
Well, definitely. I had my mom is a fan of Auburn herself because she knows some people that went over there, and I guess I kind of got some family down south, so family ties, of course. But I mean, Coach Eason, when he gave me the offer, he said, listen, I just got over to this college coaching business, and you're one of the first dudes I offered. And he just told me he loves the way I play. He loves the characteristics I have. And, he was being real and genuine, and that's what I love in a coach. And I saw it right through him. So, we spoke about ball. We spoke about life, which I love. When I hear Coach talking about life, that's what it's about. You can't just talk about ball with me. So, yeah, but I know Auburn, they're a great team, have a great organization. Academic plays a big role into my decision. So I want to go somewhere that has, great academic-wise. They were one of the choices for sure. So I feel like Coach Eason, he was one of the most real people. And the staff there, they love me. They show me love quick when they offer me. I'm talking about the night of the offer, I had other people text me, the defensive coordinator, the assistant defensive line coach. I got on the phone with some recruiting personnel people. So I just felt the love.
Another school down south, Kaleb, Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about the Seminoles. Why'd they make the cut for you?
Oh man, so me and Coach Higgins, once he gave me the offer, me and Coach Higgins, we've been speaking for quite some time before they offered me, and then Coach Fuller, he called me and he gave me the offer, and then another dude I want to talk about with talking about life again. It wasn't just about ball with him. We were talking about school, football after the NFL and whatnot, and he sounded like one of those people that actually care for his players, which is crucial, man. So I played a big role in those dudes making the list, and again, So it comes down to when I feel the love, I feel the connection, and those dudes as well. I talk to the whole staff. I'm talking about head coach, defensive coordinator, defensive line, assistant defensive coaches, and whatnot. Will So it's just love with those dudes as well.
Now, your next couple of top schools, again, we're going alphabetical order here in the Hoosier State. School number 3 here is Indiana. Tell us about Indiana.
Oh man, me and Coach Peoples, I can say me and Coach Peoples, we talk pretty frequently, man. We talk a lot, and his connection, it's not just ball, it's not just life, but it's just regular conversation. You know what I'm saying? We talk like we're friends. We laugh all the time. We have great regular conversations. He asked me about my family and whatnot. And I mean, all these coaches ask me about my family. That's important as well. People care about my family and my well-being, not just me. But yeah, and they had a pretty good season as well. They've been doing their thing. He sounds like they know what they're doing over there and they're trying to build a great organization in the future. So they definitely made the top.
Let's move into Notre Dame, a school that's been on you for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Elston, Coach Freeman. No surprise to see the Irish in your top 7. Update us on Notre Dame. How are things going with those coaches?
Right. Right. Well, I felt like I had to put them in there for sure because I remember the first day they had offered me, and Coach Elson, he was blunt. He's straight up. He said, "Listen, we love you, man, and I'm not going to be one of those schools that toot your horn and float your boat or anything like that, man. I'm going to be straight up. I'm going to recruit you how I want to recruit you. I'm not going to call you every day. I'll call you every weekend and all that good stuff. I'm not going to be on your body." Saying, giving you BS and all that good stuff. He was real. He was forward. He told me how he wants to utilize me, and that's one thing. But I mean, it was more than football for me with Notre Dame. Out of all these schools, I could really say that because if you know Notre Dame, then you know that they have pretty great academics. So And my family, especially my mother, she was like, "Listen, man, you got to put Notre Dame up there." And I was like, "Yeah, well, you ain't telling me nothing I don't know." So Notre Dame was definitely a top choice. They have great academics. You know, you go there, even if I don't make it to the league, you know, I could definitely get a great job down the long run. You know, wherever I go with a degree from Notre Dame. So, and then Coach Freeman, I mean, once he got hired, the day after he got hired, he called me the night after. We had like a 15, 20-minute conversation. It wasn't no 5-minute conversation. You know, it was real. It was genuine. He spoke to me and he said, "Listen, I want you. You know, I'm gonna treat you like just like one of my kids, man." And you know, he hit me up ever since. You know, so it's just real love over there.
Tell us more about Coach Freeman. What's contact like with
Mm-hmm.
him?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of guy is he?
He
Like
did.
Notre
Well,
Dame.
me and Coach Freeman, whether it's through the phone or text, you know, he texts me at least every week. You know what I'm saying? And if he texts me, sometimes he'll even call me, and I appreciate that because I remember one time he was actually out eating dinner, and he called me right after he was done eating dinner. So it shows the sense of urgency that he has for his players and for me as well. You know, it shows the level of interest, and I love that.
Now moving on, back to the Big Ten, Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us why the Nittany Lions made your list.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been to Penn State only once. I've been there my freshman year when I went there for a camp. And then I've been talking to some dudes there ever since. And then Coach Barnes, Coach Deion Barnes, I'm talking about. We was talking months. Like when we first started quarantine, we started months before I got offered. And he would hit me up. I probably could say every day, and he would just make sure I'm working out, not letting the quarantine get to my head and all that good stuff. Make sure I wasn't getting down on myself. He made sure I was on the upside and working out, and make sure me and my family were doing all right. And he was just there. And when they gave me the offer, the rest of the staff did the same exact thing. So it was all real love with the whole staff and the whole Penn State organization vibe, and then Coach Franklin as well. He talks to me, he texts me here and there. So I mean, I appreciate that a lot from them dudes.
Wrapping up a couple more schools. One that's pretty local. Tell us about Rutgers, Coach Shiano and those guys.
Coach Shiano, well, Coach Shiano, that's the man. Everybody knows Coach Shiano almost. So, I mean, I feel like I had to put Rutgers up there because, not only are they close to home, but you talk about family. I definitely feel the sense of family within them people right there. Coach Valone, I could say me and him probably have one of the best, vibes on that whole organization, man. I met him my freshman year when I was at Law First and Go. And this was at the time when he was actually coaching over at Fordham. And then I went over there for him, and he was coaching me up. And I can say I was the toughest recruit over there for him. He was on my body like no tomorrow. He made sure I was disciplined. I was doing my job. And then he got to Rutgers, and he just started recruiting the heck out of me. Him, Coach P, the D-line coach. I speak to everybody over there, and that's why I really had to put him up there because, I mean, not only did I feel love, but I felt family. And I mean, I already know it's genuine with them because I know Coach Valone for quite some time. And then me and Coach Shiano, I mean, he hits me up, and we talk so much as a head coach. I just feel like that's amazing for a head coach to talk to a recruit that much. It shows how much they actually care and love me.
Last school in the top 7, Virginia, another ACC school.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about the Cavs.
Yeah, well, Coach Shinham, he hit me up, and he's enthusiastic, and I love that. He's emphatic. He definitely loves talking to me, and he doesn't BS me. He's just like Coach Elson, like I was saying before. He wasn't one who's going to just blow smoke up my rear end. He's going to make sure I'm right, and he's definitely telling me everything he tells me, and we talk about it's all real. We talk about ball all the time. I mean, me and him, we can't stop talking about ball. He talks about how he wants to utilize me, and I like the way he wants to utilize me. I really do. Up and down the line, he sees me doing it all. But I talked to them. I spoke to the whole defensive staff. I'm talking about safety coach, DB coach, and all that good stuff. I even spoke to people that graduated from there. So I mean, they're coming at me hard, but it's showing me that they really want me in this love. Also, they have great academics there too. I know about the academics, 95% graduation rate, if I'm not mistaken. So, like I said, this academic and education thing plays a huge key factor into the decision.
So there's the top 7 for Kaleb Artis. Again, 4-star defensive lineman from New York. Auburn, Florida State, Indiana, Notre Dame, Penn State, Rutgers, and Virginia. You mentioned you've been able to hit Penn State before. Other than that, I would imagine you've probably been to Rutgers. Of the top
Yeah.
7, what schools have you visited? And of course, with this dead period, you can't do the traditional recruiting visits. So have you considered doing some self-guided tour stuff or you kind of waiting until the dead period passes? But then you said you want to announce in the spring. So what's kind of your mindset with these visits?
Yeah. So, as we were making this top 7 list right here, this was really where this was the most important. The most important thing to talk about was after we made the list, how this is going to work out. Because the dead period had just got pushed back May 31st, and that was very unfortunate. Not just for me, for all recruits across the country. But yeah, so I've only been to Rutgers. I've been to nowhere else. I only been to Penn State. I just seen their practice fields because that's what we were working at when I went to the camp. So I'm looking to do some self-guided tours, like you said, to public universities that I can make it out to. Eventually, me and my family, we're probably going to head down there and see the campus for what it is. I think that's important. I got to have a feel for the campus. Not just me, but my mom and my dad as well. They have to feel like their son is safe. But most importantly, I have to feel safe and feel like I'm at home. I'm going wherever I go is for the next 3 to 4 years. I have to feel like I'm home. I have to feel safe. And that's why I kept mentioning coaches and their staff and the love that they have for me with every school. Because, all these schools, they made sure that they showed me love. And if I didn't mention love within any one of these schools, then it would have been a problem because I have to feel that for the next 3 to 4 years. This is a big life decision.
So you can try to hit as many of these as you can.
Trying to hit as many self-guided tours of these schools right here as I can, man.
Yeah,
Can't wait for the dead period. We feel like it's just, too far out.
Yeah, I can certainly understand that. Before we get you out of here, Kaleb, something I love doing with recruits is, all right, let's pop on their tape. So this tape we're about to watch is from November 2019.
Yes,
New
sir.
York did not have a season this past fall, and even one, this spring is certainly up in the air, like we talked about before we started recording here. So pop it on the film here, Kaleb. Put on your recruiting analyst hat and reporter hat, and why don't you tell us what Kaleb Artis looks like on tape?
Yeah, well, this one right here, he looks a little bit outdated. He's definitely much more of a beast and has much more of a motor now. But this is my first year on varsity, my sophomore year. And, my main point was just to get after it, and nobody could stop me. That was it. A lot of people ran away from me when they would run. People barely threw the ball, but whenever they did, like you can see here in the first other 2 plays, I was in the backfield all the time getting after that quarterback. So right here, I chased down. I actually broke the dude's ankle, unfortunately. He had a speedy recovery, thankfully. But yeah, I was just a baller. Yeah. That was a tough one, but I was just a baller. I went out there, had a great mindset. To me, everything is a mindset. If you don't have the mindset, you ain't going far. But that's all it was. As you can see here, they're gonna run the ball my way. I'm gonna hit that tight end, push him right off of me. Bam, I'm right there, man. TFL. That's just what it was. That's what it all was. The majority of it was me getting in the backfield because I knew they were going to run away from me, and I got to chase the dude down. Right here, you're going to see a little bit of that. But they're going to run away from me, motor, nonstop. I always got to work. So that's just what it is for me. I'm that type of dude. You see me play now, it's going to be something you want to see. This is baby stuff. This is baby work. I'm a whole different beast now. So I hope I have the ability to showcase that.
That's what I want to ask. I mean, you're probably what, 6'5", 250, 260 at this point.
Oh yeah. That's definitely 250 stage right there. I'm 6'6", 290 right now, and the speed, and it hasn't gotten any slower. It's only getting quicker and faster, honestly. And the strength is obviously there, man. That's all we do is work on strength and speed.
So what are these college coaches telling you about fit at the next level? Because shoot, I mean, 3 tech, 1 tech, like what are any people still saying 5 tech? Like what's the breakdown?
So I tell you, there's a few people, Virginia, Rutgers, a few, almost everybody on the list is basically saying inside, but they're also saying 5 tech, especially Coach Elston. He was like, listen, we can play you all up and down the line, man. You know what I'm saying? It's second and 10. We're going to have you on that inside. But let me tell you something, man. On that 3rd and 1, we're going to have you come off that edge because that's something I have to do. I have the ability of being a defensive end, a defensive tackle. I tell the coach, I'm not going to tell the coach, no. If coach need me to play outside linebacker, I'm going to go ahead and do it, man. I'm that quick. I'm that fast. I'm that strong. I could do it. You know what I'm saying? So majority of these coaches are saying a little bit of 4 to 3. Not so much of the 1, but the 4, the 3, and the 5, man. I'm very versatile. They can move me all up and down the line. I'm very nifty with it, man. Just got to go after it. That's all it is.
All right. Well, that is Kaleb Artis, 4-star defensive lineman from New York. Let's throw up the top 7 again: Auburn, Florida State, Indiana, Notre Dame, Penn State, Rutgers, Virginia, with a potential commitment in the coming months. Appreciate you joining me, Kaleb.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you, boss.